members of opposition MPs, in their wisdom, chose me to be their nominee. I'm not going to lie to any of you. I think Papua New Guineans have always expected me to be forthright and honest. I've been in government hoping to make a difference. I've made many suggestions. I've served on several committees, as many of you know, and all because I wanted what was good for Papua New Guinea, for all Papua New Guineans. And as time went on, a lot of the things that some of us were hoping for in 2019, I did not see eventually. And one of the things that was always used to hold people like me in government was that, look, Peter O'Neill is on the other side. And you shouldn't go across for many reasons. But then I have to weigh that up against the situation that many Papua New Guineans face themselves with. I mean, you just heard on the floor, we are sending kids to school. 70,000 children are going to finish school this year. Parents, relatives, I'm getting phone calls, members of parliament are getting text messages, so that we can all put together money to send more kids to school. I asked that question today because I worry about what's going to happen to those kids when they finish school. Where are the jobs for them?
Yeah.
This is not a new question. Now, I want to think that if leaders are honest and we sit down and, stop the nonsense about relaxing. The problem is we have 5% inflation running every year. So if you're wondering why food is more expensive for you in the shops, it's because of inflation. By this year, there will be 30% cumulative inflation. And now people are going to face that. They talk about the economy growing, but we are actually talking about what we call nominal GDP. Yes, nominal GDP is growing, but real GDP is declining because of this effect of inflation we keep talking about, which we don't talk about in parliament. Now, as Papua New Guineans begin to help more and more, like me, some of the leaders had to talk to me this morning and say, look, you have to put your hand up. And I was quite reluctant, with the other candidates, my two big brothers. But then I thought, me man lo complain lo this lo something. Me complain lo opposition, me complain inside lo government. Well, then maybe it's my opportunity to get together with like-minded people and let's fix the problem. Honestly, I have nothing against the Honorable James Marape. John Russell, the Deputy Prime Minister, is my good friend, Mr. Staki. But, when you go out there and meet our people and you see their struggles, how do you feel? Me, I feel guilty. I really do feel guilty. I can't pretend that things are going well for our people. And so, I want solutions, and I think all of us here want solutions.
Yes.
And so when you see my name put forward, I think of myself just as the tip of the spear. The spear is everyone behind us, not just these members of parliament, but their constituents. All of us that want a fair deal. I want Papua New Guinea to work. And all of our leaders, all of you, we all want Papua New Guinea to work. We want a future for our children here in this country. But the way we are going, can anyone honestly say that the future is looking bright? I mean, apart from me, member of parliament, me plus a praising me play it na, worshiping me play it na. I'm massive me play it ko kamya. The majority of Papua New Guineans are feeling the pain. It doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. And so, I think this group and those of us who have been discussing these things, this group of leaders, we are about resetting everything. I want what I call a hard reset. We've been doing things a certain way for 49 years now, and it hasn't worked. I mean, no work for the majority of Papua New Guineans. So do we continue doing it the same way and expecting that the result is going to be different? I think not. I think we need to change it. I mean, people in Port Moresby are complaining about no space at the main hospital. And we announced a record budget, and there's still no second hospital for NCD. I'm sure Governor Pakop and his team of leaders would like to have the money And they would like to make the call to build their own hospital for the people of NCD. So too the people of Central, the people of Gulf, the people of Chimbu have grievances. Every single Papua New Guinean group has a grievance. We just saw all the fighting and killing going on in West New Britain not so long ago. I'm sure the leaders of West New Britain would love to have solutions for their own people. So we need a new deal for Papua New Guinea. We need to change how we are doing business. It's not about James Marape or Allan Bird or government or opposition. It's about our people. You can come now. I mean, you saw what we did today. Parliament got a bit lively, members of Parliament making jokes. But what happens when we go back? We are all building roads, bridges and classrooms, ladies and gentlemen. But is that really changing the lives of our people? Is it changing it for the majority? And these are hard questions that we should be asking. Every single group and community in Papua New Guinea deserves a fair go in their own country. All of us do. And when I look at a 27 billion kina budget, I see energy for development, but I see it all misdirected. I think that if we can direct that energy, and the other thing is, why do ministers have to work until 3 o'clock in the morning? Why can't we work smarter? Why can't we share the workload? Why by one Lamanda song making more something? And these are the things we need to change. The problem is in the arrangements. One man wants to do everything. We want to do everything from Port Moresby. Now we've been doing that to death and it hasn't worked. And I think smart Papua New Guineans everywhere will agree that we need to change that. So I say again, it's not about me. You heard me on the floor say at one point, look, enough of criticizing the Honorable Peter O'Neill. He had his turn in the chair. We can go back and criticize every single Prime Minister. I don't want to do that. I don't want to criticize the Honorable James Marape. But I think the problems of our country deserve a serious look, serious actions. And we need to come out and tell our people, if we are not succeeding in these things, then you talk to sorry, me no nablo making me please nabla man you come na make. I think we need to be honest, and I don't think we are. We are pretending that everything is okay, or things are just going to get better miraculously because I'm working until 2 in the morning, so you know what I look at me out of stuff, yeah? But they are Papua New Guinea still doing it tough regardless of how many hours we are all putting in. So it's not the number of hours, it's not the size of the budget, it's about how we are doing it. And that needs to change. And somehow I think, this group of leaders got convinced by my arguments. And they decided that, well, let's put him in front. So whatever reasons they have, I am really humbled. I didn't expect it this morning, as I said. I've always been a bit of a rebel. And for everyone to decide that, perhaps a rebel should be the one that comes in and changes everything. So that was a decision they took. I was going to say no, I was going to decline and continue. But then I thought, well, years ago, and if you don't mind, I drag you back, the Grand Chief was Prime Minister. My name came up as one of those that should be one of the 12 working on Vision 2050, and Sepuka Temu took it to Cabinet. And when my name got mentioned in Cabinet, everyone looked at Grand Chief. They were wondering what his response would be. He turned around and said, man block giving me plenty heavy here. Put him in, you look him. I mean, I make him on all that. So I think this morning when these leaders made the decision, I felt the same way. I felt like everyone was saying, okay, you man block to talk plenty here. Maybe put him on the front and see what you can do. I'm about bringing together, I think, the collective intelligence of Papua New Guineans to bear on the problem. I'm not about a one-man show. I don't run my province myself. I've got professionals everywhere, and they do the work. And this morning, when the call came from this group of leaders, out of respect for them and out of great humility, and in fact, I'm really humbled that my peers, people I respect, would bestow upon me this opportunity. Now I know that we won't succeed if our colleagues don't cross the floor. So I want to speak to my colleague MPs on the other side. Suppose you have a mass the way country run, you like working one Kenya, am alright. We best have no opposition. We don't man to move nothing. And if I have to stay in opposition until 2027 and continue to highlight these issues, I'll do so. I didn't move because someone offered me a bag of money or a car or house or anything like that. I left because civics have been complaining and asking me to leave for over a year. Plenty civic will talk, oh, thank you, finally, you. So, these civics they don't let you rest if they feel that something is wrong. I come from a unique electorate. On civic, by complain. Legally, pothole come up all by complain. I went to Leh and I saw this pothole from Nadzab all the way to, I don't know that place, but Bun Bakside blew me close to Lucy, and I thought, my goodness, civic here, legally pothole come up for 1 month, how got a civic complaint? Or Marape appealing pen close to 10 years of passing house and stuff. But that's the kind of electorate, the kind of people I represent. Every single civic will complain when something is wrong. And I bear the brunt of those criticisms. No power will blaming me. Police no work all blaming me. Over the sunny no work all blaming me. And then I realized, well, that's the civic way. Or some misakam na complain lo here too. Because I respond very quickly when my people get upset about something. It's just in my nature. So I'm really grateful that the leaders of Papua New Guinea have appointed me for such a task at such a time. We're going to give it our best shot, and I hope we are successful. But again, that will depend very much on our friends on the other side. If you are happy, like with great respect, the good Prime Minister has been running our country for 4.5 years now. By June, it will be 5 years. And I asked him a question today for him to tell us how he has progressed. No Prime Minister is going to have an easy task. No one is going to have an easy run. It's all difficult from here on. So my worry is, are things going to change between now and 2027? Or are they going to be more difficult by 2027? That's what I'm worried about. We cannot continue to push problems onto future generations. You've seen me raise issues around the debt, not just the normal debt that we are publishing, but debt that's sitting all over the place. At some point, that debt is going to find its way onto our total debt. We haven't done population yet. And I'm worried about why it's being delayed. Because personally, I think when we find out our real population and you calculate it against something we call the per capita GDP, that is GDP per person, and by drop below $3,000 US. When it drops below that, then the whole world will classify us as a poor, underdeveloped nation. And I suspect that's why population numbers are not out. Because we are trying to hide that one too. We can't keep doing that. We've got to admit our real situation and we've got to fix it. And really, it's up to the members of parliament. You can fight in Brosnat of you got number, but is your number going to fix the cost of living crisis? No. Is your number going to fix the unemployment crisis? No. Is your number going to fix law and order? If your number is going to fix all of these problems, then fine, we respect you. And we will continue to hold you accountable. But if you having a big number is not going to help the ordinary Papua New Guinean on the street or their children, then perhaps you need to rethink your position. It's not about us. It's not about me and my fellow leaders here. It's not about our colleagues in government. It's about you. And we should always be making our decisions based on you, and not just you. The children that you have, the future that you want. And this is the thing that I think we should be doing. And it shouldn't be about a personality cult, and praise and worship. We need to stop that nonsense. So I think I've spoken too long. But once again, let me just thank all of you.